Hello and welcome to the MiniSode of the Halloween podcast here on the Halloween Podcast Network. I guess I don't know what to call this because we do so many shows. We do so many that we might as well just start our own network and become our own.
I say we're getting to the point where we need an umbrella organization for all our different shows.
Yes, and
which is a good thing.
It is. We do a lot of content for you guys. We love it, and we try to do some different stuff every now and then. And on this mini episode, we're actually going to talk about our top 5 top 5-ish Scholastic Halloween-ish, I guess Halloween-ish, because they're not really Halloween. I don't think any of mine really are Halloween, but they're all scary-ish books. To kind of go with our Wednesday episode, which was the Scholastic Book Fair, and also our Haunted Thursday episode, which was all about the dynamic book of ghosts and haunted houses, which is also a Scholastic book. So, we try to do nice theme stuff here on the Halloween podcast for you guys. So I think we should get right into it. Megan, should we go
in reverse order?
Yeah, well, let's go to least favorite to favorite.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep, reverse order.
All right. So what is your number 5 or ish?
My number 5, and I've got show and tell here, is Lon Popo, a Red Riding Hood story from China by Ed Young.
Okay.
Translated and illustrated by Ed Young.
I've never heard of that one.
It was first published in 1989 and begins with a familiar warning whispered through countless fairy tales. Be careful who you let through your door. This beautifully atmospheric retelling of traditional Chinese folktale, Ed Young follows 3 sisters left home alone while their mother visits their grandmother when a wolf arrives disguised as their Lon Popo, which means wolf granny. The children must rely on their own quick thinking and courage to survive.
Ooh.
Celebrated for its haunting mixed media illustrations inspired by traditional Chinese art, the book was awarded the 1990 Randolph Caldecott Medal for the year's most distinguished American picture book illustration. While some scholars have discussed it within broader conversations about cultural authenticity and representation in multicultural children's literature, Lon Popo remains one of the most acclaimed and enduring folktale retellings of the modern era. Highly recommend it. That picture, again, book by its cover. I picked this up at a Scholastic Book Fair when I was a kid. I still have this original book.
Yeah.
And it was largely because of that really creepy picture of a wolf. As a kid, I had a serious phobia of spooky wolves.
Yeah.
All right.
My 5th choice is a book that I remember seeing at the Scholastic Book Fair, and I picked it up and I was like, oh, this looks cool, looks interesting. So I took it home, and the book is The Legend of Red Horse.
Wait. Is that your 5th or is that your honorable mention? Give us your honorable mention first.
Honorable mention. Well, honorable mention would be In a Dark, Dark Room, which is a story that we all love. Alvin Schwartz did a more of a, there it is, Megan has it up, but that's not the version I had. The version I had was...
the paperback?
No, it was the hardcover.
This is the hardcover.
No, I'm talking about like the old hardcover, like from the 80s.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, the school that I went to, Olive Elementary, they had it. The old cover, really faded, very thick. Yeah, it was great. And I often wonder what happened to those books, because, like I said, Olive Elementary is no longer there. So what happened to all of the books at the library? Did they move to Washington Elementary School, which is now where the school's at? Or did they have some type of a sale and just sold them all? And if they did, I'd like to track down whoever bought it. And it would destroy my heart if I heard that when they moved the school, they ended up throwing away a lot of books.
They tend to either sell them or pass them on. Generally, they don't throw out the books. So you should be okay on that front.
Yeah. And when I was doing this list, it kind of sparked a memory that I had that had a lot to do with this book, had a lot to do with a lot of the Alvin Shorts books. Like I've mentioned numerous times, I wasn't the best reader in the world. I'm still not, as you guys can probably tell. I have to record things 1,000 times before they sound fine. So it's just not my strongest point. I be the first to admit it. But I remember I used to have to rely a lot on other kids that could read to read these stories to me. And that was always a lot of fun because it felt like I was part of the Midnight Society almost in a way.
Yes, yeah, you're being told a scary story. That's the best way to hear them.
And that kind of like sparked a memory of, hey, I was in some type of a club a long, long time ago in like 5th or 4th grade, something like that, where we started like a scary story, a scary, club or something where a group of us would meet under like this wooden, I guess it was like almost like a teepee. It was like this, but it was like wooden. And we'd all meet underneath it. I guess you'd climb over it or whatever you do during recess. So we'd meet under there and it'd be like a sand pit. So we'd be there in a circle. Somebody would start reading the book and the book would get passed around. Obviously, when it got to me, I was like, no, just pass it to the next one because I can't read. But sure enough, that's where I heard a lot of these stories. And I remember we had the club, and like on a weekend or something when we had the Little Caesars, we had pizza. I cut up the Little Caesars pizza box and I made cards for everybody, like membership cards. So I draw little stupid pieces or things on them, little scary things, and I would write the person's name, or as best as I could, and I would give them out. So I gave them to everybody. In order to get in, you'd have to show the card. Amazing. So we would show the card, and then we'd get in, and then we'd sit down, start reading, and then we'd do like, this is stupid. We'd do like symbols on the ground, and be like, all right, so now we're conjuring up this thing, and then we'd scribble, and
making spews and spells and things in the ground.
Yes, we did a lot of those things, and then slowly but surely, people just started leaving the group. Like people were like, they just stopped showing up during recess. They'd go off and do whatever they needed to do, and I remember there was this last time, like it got to the point where it was just me. I was the only one there and everyone else was just like gone. So I'm sitting there going, hey, where's everybody? So I'd go off and I'd start looking for them. And I remember there was this girl her name was Tanya. And Tanya was kind of...
Such a popular name back then.
Yeah. She was kind of, I didn't say weird, but she was kind of like, she joined the group because she like really wanted to talk to spirits and things like that.
Oh, right. Okay. So she was getting serious.
Yeah. So she was like,
the rest of you were there to have fun.
But I remember I tracked her down and she was with like another girl. I think her name was Cece. And they were like walking together. So I found them in the playground and I was like, hey, are we going to meet? And she's like, no, I don't. She handed me the card back and she said, no, I don't feel like really doing that anymore. I only joined because I thought we were really going to like conjure up spirits and things like that and talk to spirits. And I'm like, I don't think that's kind of what we do as kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we never met again. So my paranormal society had ended. And I think it was only probably like a week, maybe 2 weeks. But in my mind, it lasted forever.
I didn't know any other kids in elementary school or middle school who would have been into that kind of thing. I was kind of away on my own at that point. But yeah. Bummer. Yeah, I would have kept the card.
If only we knew each other, Megan. We could have this show would have probably been way different.
Right?
We probably would have.
But we're making up for lost time.
Yes. That's how I like to see it. We're old chums.
All right. So my number 5 is actually Halloween themed. It is called Little Witch's Big Night.
Okay.
First published in 1984. Little Witch's Big Night, written by Deborah Hotzing, illustrated by Selvi Wickstrom, captures the excitement every young Halloween fan knows. The anticipation of the biggest night of the year, when Little Witch is punished for cleaning her room and told she must stay home on Halloween. She refuses to let disappointment spoil the evening, discovering that determination and imagination can still make for an unforgettable adventure, filled with playful illustrations, gentle humor, and plenty of Halloween charm. The story celebrates resilience and the magic of the season through the eyes of a child. Loved this book. Found it at a Scholastic Book Fair. Just so good. And it's perfect for Halloween. I also used to get a kick out of the fact that she was punished for cleaning her room.
Yeah.
That made my childhood heart happy.
Yeah, that book actually kind of looks familiar, but I don't think I ever picked it up. But it does look familiar.
For those of you not in the pumpkin room, by the way, I'm doing a show and tell of every single one of my books.
Yes. So if you want to see those, again, join the pumpkin room, guys. We need more people in there. We need more support over at the Halloween Podcast. So patreon.com/the Halloween Pod. Get signed up so you can join the pumpkin room and check out all these cool things that we show. But my number 5 is called The Legend of Red Horse Cavern, which is a story I don't remember hardly anything about. I do remember it was I think Gary Paulson. Paulson is the one who wrote it, published in 1994. The story follows 2 young people investigating a southwestern mystery involving Native American legend, a cavern, hidden danger, and a valuable archaeological discovery. So I remember this one, I picked it up because of the cover. It had like a skull, and there was these 2 kids. It was an adventure, looked scary. Why not? I picked it up. And that also, when I thought about that, I also thought of another memory of school where I picked this up at the book fair, and it was during recesses when they would do the book fair. Like, you can go during recess and go check it out. And I went, and I stayed so long there that the bell came and was already there. And I was like, I still haven't made my choice. So I finally settled on this book after like a good 35 minutes or something like that. And I made it back to class going, oh man, I'm going to get in so much trouble. The teacher's going to get mad. Where have I been? I get there and like nobody really cared. Like, I just got there and sat down. And it's like I wasn't even, like, I never showed up. It kind of made me feel like I was a ghost, just like go and swooping in there.
Ooh.
And yeah, but nobody said a word to me. Nobody even looked in my direction when I came in. And I was like,
ooh, that
okay,
must have been a spooky feeling.
Great. So I just sat down and the teacher went on like nothing happened. So Lyle was not even there and nobody even realized.
All right. So my next book, it was a huge favorite of mine as a kid. It is called Scare Yourself to Sleep. First published in 1991, Scare Yourself to Sleep, written by Rose Impey and illustrated by Maura Kemp, taps into a feeling every Halloween fan remembers. Gathering in the dark to swap spooky stories that are just scary enough to make bedtime a little more interesting.
Oh boy.
The book follows a group of children as each tries to outdo the last with increasingly creepy tales, only to discover that the imagination can be far more frightening than anything lurking outside the window.
Nice.
Blending gentle chills with playful humor, the story celebrates the timeless tradition of sharing ghost stories while reassuring young readers that fear can be part of the fun.
Nice.
So that is my original copy of Scare Yourself to Sleep.
Yeah, not one that I remember, but looks like a good choice.
It was a lot of fun.
My next up are my number 4, which is not a book that came out when I was a kid. It came out like way later. I already graduated high school by the time this one came out. And I remember it mostly because back before I started doing podcasting, I used to do book reviews. And I had a blog called Undead in the Head where I would review zombie books. And I would, it was a whole thing. And that's kind of what led into like the podcasting and all of that stuff eventually. Because I always wanted to do a podcast, but I didn't like the way my voice sounded. So I never did any for the longest time. And then eventually I was like, yeah, whatever. No, if nobody listens, then whatever. And I did it and then people listened. So I was like, okay, cool. But my number 4 choice came out in 2005 and it's called The Zombie Zone. And this is a book that I remember I sought after when I wanted to do like more kids books on Undead in the Head. And I was looking for zombie books. I saw this one and I was like, oh, that's a Scholastic one. Let me try that one. And I read it. I don't remember much of anything about it, but I do remember that I read it. I remember the cover. It was like a graveyard and the guy with white hair was walking around like a zombie. And it was from the A to Z mystery series. I don't know if you've ever heard of those or saw those.
I have not, no.
But it was a mystery series where they did a bunch of different mysteries. I think they did them kind of like what the series title is, A to Z. So they would do like A would be one mystery, B would be another, and that would be like the different books. And then when they got to Z was for zombie. So the Zombie Zone was the Z and the A to Z mysteries. I think that's what it was.
Right, of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
It was illustrated by John Stephen Gurney, and it was written by Ron Royce, which is, part of a series. And it was one of those detective mystery series that I remember. I don't remember what I gave it, but hey, it was 15 years ago now or something like that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough.
That was my number 4 choice.
That is a good choice. Sounds very good. My next choice is The Ghost Eye Tree. First published in 1985, The Ghost Eye Tree, written by Bill Martin Jr. and John Archambault, and illustrated by Terry Rand, captures a childhood experience that feels almost universal. The frightening walk home through the woods on a dark autumn night. As 2 siblings make their way across a lonely path, every rustling leaf, twisted branch, and shifting shadow seems to come alive, until imagination transforms an ordinary tree into the terrifying Ghost Eye Tree. Ted Rand's dramatic illustrations heighten the suspense while gently reminding readers that fear while reminding readers that fear often grows in the unknown. The book received the International Reading Association Children's Choice Award and has remained one of the most beloved Halloween picture books for generations.
Nice.
And I apologize, I need to have a sip of water here.
That looks like a nice book. Looks like a...
It was a great book. I used to read this to the neighborhood kids and stuff, even in the summertime, because the illustrations are just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's just so evocative. I've always had a thing for spooky trees, and maybe this is why.
Yeah.
This could be why. I don't know. But great book. And as you can see, I got it at a Scholastic Book Fair.
Nice. That's kind of like, I don't know if anybody even really cares, but our logo, there's a lot to it. Where when I was thinking of stuff like we do a lot of nostalgic stuff, where Halloween was really big as like when we were kids. So what is something that I can do? And I've always imagined, like Megan, when I first met Megan, I was like, you know what? If me and Megan were ever, like, if we went to school, she would probably be the one reading to me. That's why our logo. That's why our
whether
logo.
Whether you liked it or not.
Yeah. I did our logo with her. She's reading, and I'm sitting there. Like, that's supposed to be us as kids. And she's reading it to me. And I don't know if I did it subconsciously, but I might have just thought of it and be like, you know what, let's do this. And then that ended up becoming the logo, because honestly, the core of it is Megan loves all of that stuff, and I love listening to all of that stuff. So that is our logo. So if you ever wondered how that logo came to be, that I just thought of it, and then that was it. That was subconsciously. I was like, you know what, that has to be right. So
and my family are laughing if they're listening to this, because my nickname is Did You Know? Because I love to find out about something and then tell someone else about it, or like read to them this thing that I found. Yeah. And so they call me Did You Know? Yeah.
And as kids, I would be the one that would definitely be sitting there listening. So that's
excellent.
We're 2 peas in a pod, basically. Next up,
yes.
Is a book that we covered on Haunted Thursday yesterday, or I told you guys a lot about it. And
yes,
it is a great book, older book. It was first published by Scholastic in 1980, illustrated by Arthur Thompson, and there was a lot of good, true ghost stories in there, true hauntings in there. That as a kid, it would be definitely have been a book that I'd like sought after as a kid. If I would have sought somewhere, real hauntings made for kids, perfect. I'm all in.
Awesome.
And yeah, that would have been higher on my list, but I kind of feel like I already talked about it on Thursday, so it shouldn't really be on this one. But I threw it in anyways, right in the middle.
Fair enough. My next one I think you're going to love. And anyone else who's read this is going to probably go, oh yeah. It's called The Pumpkinville Mystery. It was first published in 1991. The Pumpkinville Mystery by Bruce B. Cole, with illustrations by James Warhola, spins a Halloween legend around the origins of the jack-o'-lantern. When a mysterious hooded stranger arrives in a prairie town carrying magical pumpkin seeds, acts of kindness are rewarded, while greed and dishonesty receive an unforgettable lesson. Blending folklore, mystery, and autumn atmosphere, the story offers a fresh origin tale for one of Halloween's most enduring traditions. This was an incredible book. I bought it as part of a set, so it was the book and it was an audio tape. I still have the audio tape somewhere. I did not come across it while I was looking for these, but the narrator in the audio tape was just amazing. And even as a kid, like when you put in the cassette tape and listen to it, it was just so good. This is still one of my favorite books. It's incredibly atmospheric. I highly recommend it. The Pumpkinville Mystery.
Yeah. That's one thing I don't remember much about the Scholastic Book Fairs is I don't think they really had much cassette tapes.
This was not I didn't purchase this at a Scholastic Book Fair. It's just one of my favorite books from when I was a kid.
I'm just talking about like in general.
I suppose the purpose was to encourage reading.
Yeah, but
there might be more of that now from like a diversity, equity, inclusion perspective for like kids who can't read for various different reasons. But it was never there that I remember when I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember it being mostly at like libraries where they had a whole section, which is I was always at because when I'd go to the libraries, of course, me being the one who had a hard time reading, I would much prefer to listen to it. And honestly, that's kind of what really helped is listening to somebody say the word and then looking at what the word looks like. Then that way, I don't read because I can read and sound it out. I read it because my memory kicks in and I go, all right, these letters in this certain order is this word. And then that's basically how I started learning how to read, is just remembering what these words look like. So doing that, in the Scholastic Book Fair, I probably would have ended up reading a lot more if I had somebody reading it to me and then I could just look at it. But yeah, I don't know. If you ever saw the cassette tapes at a Scholastic Book Fair, let us know, because I don't remember at all seeing them.
It's a good one. If I can get it digitized, which is something I'm hoping to do, maybe I'll send you the file and we can listen to it live and you can tell me what you think.
Yeah. Well, if we had the tape, I can play it on. I have a tape recorder. I had one. It's probably in the other computer over there. But I actually have a way to plug it in. That's how I used to do the spooky sounds. I would play the tape and put it right into the recorder. So I do have a tape player. I'm pretty sure it's in the next room. And I have it there, and I got the connector here. All I got to do is connect it, and we're in business. If nobody already put it on YouTube, because sometimes they already do.
It might be. I haven't actually looked.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Check on YouTube. More than likely, somebody has already ripped it and put it up there. But
excellent.
All right, so
What's
up
your
to
next book, Lyle?
Number 2. This is the runner-up, and of course, I had to put in a Goosebumps book because,
of course,
it was a major part of a lot of our lives. And this one that I actually put in, instead of just doing Goosebumps in general, I picked one. The one that I picked is called Phantom of the Auditorium. And I
remember that one.
I loved it. I remember watching it when it came out as a show. I remember watching this episode. And as a kid, I really loved the story of the Phantom of the Opera. I really did. And I still kind of do. I kind of want to see it, actually see a good production of it. But I don't know if I ever will. I might. If at one point, if somebody really does it, does a good version of it where it's all interactive and they come out of the audience and all of that. So that's kind of what I want. I want to experience
that would be amazing.
The Phantom of the Opera. But yeah, this one came out in 94, R.L. Stine, of course, and the story follows Brooke and her friend Zeke, who are appearing in their school's production of a play called The Phantom. And a lot of craziness ensues. I love this book. I thought it was great. I want to read it again. I don't know why, but I just want to read it again.
No, I often think that I'm just going to sit down one of these days and read through all the Goosebumps books again. Because they're still entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
And they're great sort of quick reads, Yeah. If you don't have a lot of time like me and you got to stop and put it down and do something else for a while, Mm-hmm. All right, we've arrived.
All right, we are
number
at
one.
Our number ones.
My absolute favorite spooky children's book of all time, Bony Legs. First published in 1983, Bony Legs, written by Joanna Cole and illustrated by Dirk Zimmer, opens the door to one of Eastern Europe's most enduring legends, inviting young readers into the shadowy world of Baba Yaga, the mysterious witch who lives in a hut perched on enormous chicken legs.
Yeah.
The story follows a brave girl named Sasha who must rely on courage, kindness, and quick thinking after becoming trapped by the witch's sinister plans. Drawing faithfully from Slavic folklore while softening its darker edges for children, the book blends genuine chills with humor and adventure, making it a perennial Halloween favorite and a memorable introduction to one of folklore's most fascinating characters.
That looks
It
cool.
was amazing. It's my favorite of all time. Absolute favorite. Bony Legs.
Yeah.
And this is my original copy that I've had since I was a kid. On the inside, my mom wrote, "This book belongs to Megan Rice," because that was my maiden name. It is one of her very favorite books since first grade, 1998 or 1989 to 1990.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice. And for those of you wondering, no, that has nothing to do with John Wick. For those that know.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely nothing.
No.
But yeah, that looked like a really cool book. It really did.
It was awesome. It's still awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read it to my kids.
Love the illustration. But, all right. So, we are at my number one. And this one is the one that I remember the most from like library, from Scholastic Book Fairs, from all of that in general. And it is Alvin Schwartz's More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yes.
So, it's not book one. It is book two that I remember. And I remember it mostly because of the story Wonderful Sausage. That one stuck with me forever. I remember this was in 5th grade. I think it might have been after my paranormal group. Actually, now that I think about it, I think the paranormal group was in 4th grade, because this happened in 5th grade, where my friend Andy, he ended up reading a lot of these stories to me. So we'd sit during recess and he'd open it up and he'd just read it. And I'd be there listening.
Yes.
So I remember us reading this one, and I was like, man, that is one crazy story. The butcher was butchering up people and serving them, and that was the Wonderful Sausage. I was like, holy crud, who does this? and
then you grew up and realized there are stories like that all over the world.
Yes.
and cases in like the books where people actually tried it.
Yeah, and then I remember about Jeffrey Dahmer and all of those things. But that was one intense story. And then I remember reading it like when I was already an adult. I remember going back and reading it and being like, yeah, this isn't really bad at all. It just kind of like allures to a lot of stuff. But yeah, that story always stuck with me. And Andy, if you're out there, what's up, dude? I haven't seen you in like 30 years, but I'm still around. And to Tanya too. Tanya, if you're out there listening and you remember about our stupid I don't know, what do you call it, paranormal group or whatever we were.
Yeah, anyone who was a card holding member of Lyle's paranormal group in 4th, maybe 5th grade, please do get in touch.
Yeah, I don't think I really don't. Like, I don't think anybody from my childhood is really listening. So if anybody grew up in Vista, California in the late 80s, early 90s, went to Olive Elementary, then went to Washington Middle School, send us a message. I would love to talk to you for, a few minutes. So, it is that Lyle. But actually, by that point, I wasn't going by Lyle. I was going by my middle name. So you probably don't realize it was the same person. But yeah, Vista, California, early 80s and 90s, Olive Elementary School. If you went, let me know. So,
Lyle, there's a good reason you enjoyed the illustrations on Bony Legs. Dirk Zimmer is also the illustrator of In a Dark Room and Other Scary Stories.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought at first, and I was trying to like really look at it, going, "All right, that looks familiar. That looks familiar." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, that's probably the same guy."
So just super quickly, I'm not going to talk about them, but I am just going to show people some of my other childhood books that I loved so much that I kept.
Let's see what we got.
So we have Happy Birthday, Little Witch.
I remember that one.
A sequel to the other Little Witch's Big Night. Jack-O-Lantern, written by Joanne Barkman,
Now,
little mini book.
I remember that one.
A Very Scary Witch Story, same author.
Don't know that one.
Garfield's Scary Tales.
Let me see the inside of that one, please. Please, give me.
Some of these pictures were just perfect.
Oh, yeah.
They were amazing. My favorite is a Beazle the cat.
Oh my god.
Beazle the cat really freaked me out when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just such a great... And he's stealing the banana cream pie out of the fridge and the monster's there.
Yeah.
You guys who are not able to see this are super missing out, by the way.
They are. Yeah, I so remember that.
Yeah.
Looking through those pictures.
Amazing book. I still have it. It's Halloween by Jack Pritleski.
Okay.
This is actually one that I rebought. This is not the original cover, but I rebought this so that I could read it to my kids.
That one looks familiar.
This is one of mine from a kid. Georgie and the Noisy Ghost. Loved it. It's a very, very old book. I want to say it's from the 1950s or so. It's very old.
Yeah.
No, I lie. It's from the 70s, 1971. Just the illustration looks a lot older.
Right.
In the Haunted House by Eve Bunting.
Oh, yeah. That one great I remember.
Book. The Witch Who Lives Down the Hall by Donna Guthrie.
No. Don't remember that
This one was a fun one. For sure. There we go.
You know, that reminded me of something. Do you remember the one where it was a teacher and her class, I guess, was like really rowdy and was being really bad, that she was like, all right, I'm out of here. And then she left and another teacher showed up who looked just like her. But it was like her dressed up, and she was like really mean to the class and really made them appreciate. I think, what was it called?
It's very Coraline-esque.
Somebody is probably like screaming in their car right now.
Yes. Go and get this, Lyle.
Nelson? Miss Nelson?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Miss Nelson is missing or something like that? Let me look real fast. I think that's it.
I'll keep showing my books while you're looking. So we have The Candy Witch, which was a Halloween-themed book. Absolutely adorable. Very, very cute. The witch just wants to be noticed for her nice little acts of kindness, and when she doesn't, she tries stealing all the candy.
Yeah.
And realizes that being nice was actually the better path.
Nice.
And then these ones, lots of people I think are going to remember these. I love these. The Witch Next Door by Norman Bridwell. So I have The Witch Next Door and I have The Witch's Vacation, both by Norman Bridwell.
Nice.
Both from when I was a kid. And these are absolutely adorable. So basically the theme is the witch moves in next door and the kids are kind of afraid of her, but she actually turns out to be the best neighbor ever. And they have an absolute blast with her. And that's the theme of the entire little series.
Nice.
Is that this witch next door is awesome. And they get to go do awesome things with their witch. So there you go.
Nice.
That's it for me.
Yes. And then the story is Miss Nelson is missing. That is it.
Nice.
1977 by Harry Allard. And yeah, James Marshall was the one who did the illustrations. Children in a classroom learn to deal with the mysterious disappearance of their teacher, Mrs. Nelson, and her replaced by an awful substitute teacher. Yeah, I remember that one as a kid. If you guys remember it too. There's a movie adaptation of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, didn't know. But yeah, that for whatever reason, that book sparked that memory of that one. Pretty cool.
And the only book I don't have to show you, and I'm very disappointed, I have a first edition of Welcome to Dead House by R.L. Stine, which was the original that I picked up at the Scholastic Book Fair.
Nice.
It is in one of my boxes. I just didn't have the time to find it.
Yeah.
It's in with my older books, like scary stories and stuff from when I was an older child. These are my little kid books.
Yeah. Well, I have a box of old scary stories to tell in the dark. Or not scary stories to tell in the dark. Goosebump books. I have a whole box of them.
Love it.
But yeah, I guess that's going to do it for this episode of the mini-sode of the Halloween podcast. If you guys have any questions, comments, want to suggest anything, let us know what your favorite books are. info@thehalloweenpodcast.com. You can call the hotline, 731-400-0472. And tell us all about it and let us know. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/the Halloween Podcast and Instagram.com/the Halloween Podcast. But until
and be sure to call our haunt line.
Yes.
For sure. Definitely call it. Give us a story that you have or Halloween memories. Tell us about your favorite spooky stories as a kid. Anything.
Yeah.
Call and just ask us a question, a Halloween related question.
Yes.
The number is 731-400-0472.
Yes.
It's just an answering machine. No one's going to grill you about what you're calling about. But if you do want credit, please make sure you leave your name and your location. It doesn't have to be exact, just generalized location.
Yeah.
Please keep it clean and family friendly so that we can play on a future show.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We will see you on Monday for the Monday Halloween update. Halloween's getting really close, Megan, so I hope you're ready.
Yes. So excited.
All right. I'll see you guys then. Have a good night.
Have a good night.